Such a blessing to be here in community. And as we come together, we are showing up as this infinite power that is unfolding in each moment. So I invite you to step into prayer with me. Sweet, sweet Spirit, infinite presence, source of all that is, abounding with insights, inspiration, joy, love. In my mind's eye, I look around. I take in the wonder of this earth, of nature, my home. Each of us spins in infinity. Each of us channeling source, infinite possibility. I know I am one with divine mind, one with all that is. I see spiritual power, and in oneness I see ripening, unfolding. Each breath welcomes new beginnings. I see the universe opening up for each of us as we step through into greater abundance, greater love. We are each a co-creator of our experiences. And in deep reverence, I affirm, I allow, I accept, I receive. I feel divine energy flowing effortlessly as insights, inspiration, joy, love. I accept all this as natural. All good shows up for each of us as each of us. Divine potential is infinite, bigger than any situation, any issue. And right now, each of us is manifesting divine mind's finest creation. I know that as an expression of life, each of us is energized by the same power that stimulates the ebb and flow of the waves on the shore. It is the same power that supports those birds on their flight, the same force that urges those seeds to spread their roots and find their essence. We are each a powerful being, deserving of all of the bounty of the universe. I allow, I accept, I receive. And so I know the words spoken today inspire. The music is joy, and our community is rich with insights, with love. I am in deep gratitude for our coming together, each of us manifesting spiritual power come to life, opening up as channels of divine good. I release this into the spiritual law, which expresses naturally and eternally. The life principle manifests as me, as us, in every moment. And together we can say, and so it is.
There was a woman who was on a subway train. And on the subway train, there was a man who got on with his 3 young children. And the kids were rambunctious, to say the least. They were wild and causing havoc. And the woman thought to herself, why can't these parents handle their children? Why can't they keep them calm? And then something in her shifted. And instead of getting into her judgment, she decided to be curious. And she went ahead and sat down next to the man who had the 3 young children, and he had tears in his eyes a little bit. And she said, "What's going on? Are you okay?" And he said, "I just left the hospital, and my wife and their mother died a few hours ago." and I just don't know what to do, and I don't think my kids know what to do either. And in that moment, her heart melted open. She felt love, she felt compassion, she felt like she was judging this man so many minutes before, and then something shifted. And what shifted in her? It was curiosity. Curiosity as a way to be love in this world. One question changed everything. So whether you've been in this teaching for years and years, or you have, it's your third or fourth time here, you might have been that woman on the subway. You might have done that. You might have made an assumption about somebody else and a snap judgment. And the thing about assumptions, or to assume, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but making an ass out of you and me when we assume. And there is a solution to that. The solution is if we choose to live our lives as love. And I know love's like, people toss that word around, love. There's hearts everywhere. There's, I love you. And, everybody thinks well, not everybody, but many people think in New Thought that this community is like, oh, well, it's just for those happy, joyful, go-lucky people. But what is not communicated about this word love is it causes deep and powerful spiritual work. It requires us to be more of ourselves and sometimes take that high road that is not the easy road. There's the road that everybody takes. The road that everybody takes oftentimes is not the high road because there's that one like super highway of negativity and assumptions that's really easy to go on. Like I can just jump on that road at any time. I can flip on the news and then bam, I'm on that road. But if I don't want to be in that place, I get to do my spiritual practice, which is living as love. So the first thing is to really deepen my own curiosity, where I choose curiosity over judgment. If I notice that I'm judging somebody, I ask myself, could there be something else going on here? Is there something else that I'm missing? What am I not seeing? What assumptions am I making about this person? I don't know about you, but I know I've been misunderstood. And it's so much nicer when somebody comes with curiosity instead of judgment. There's a Sufi story that illustrates this. And the Sufi story goes like this. There's a wise man that's a greeter for a town. And one of the travelers comes into the town, and the wise man greets him, and the traveler says, "Oh, wise man, can you tell me about the people in this town?" And he says, "Well, how are the people in the town that you just came from?" He said, "Oh God, all those people were so hateful and judgmental." And the wise man said, "Well, unfortunately, that's how the people are here too. Sorry." And so the traveler goes on his way. And then another traveler comes in, and they say, "Oh, tell me, oh wise man, tell me about the people in this town." And he says, "Well, how are the people in the town you just came from?" "Well, they were so wonderful and generous and kind-hearted people." And the wise man says, "Well, that's how they are here too." Because oftentimes it's not what's out there, but what's in here that makes the biggest difference in the world. Where am I coming from? What do I choose to see? What do I choose to focus on? What do I choose to think about the world in general? It makes a huge difference. I mean, have you ever had somebody who didn't believe in you? Like, how does that feel? And then what about somebody who's like, I know you can do this. I believe in you. I see the truth in you. And how do you feel? I know. You know what? That's what our practitioners are trying to do. I'm just saying. If you ever go to a practitioner, they're trained to be like, I see the truth in you. That's like everything else melts away. All of those physical conditions, all of the bad behaviors, the not working out well in your own life, and all those things. Practitioners are like, that is all BS. I got to tell you the truth of you right now. And it's beautiful. It's so good to be seen and appreciated and loved, because that's the heart. That's the heart of who we are. And it's also the question of who do we choose to be? Who do we choose to be in difficult times? How do we choose to see the world? Is the world falling apart, or is the world falling together? Is destruction the precursor to creation? Or is destruction just the end of the world? So it's all in your own perspective. But it takes a conscious realization of love, of being love, of stepping into love, of realizing love in another person as well. There's a research study. You might have heard of it, but if you haven't, I'm going to tell you all about it. In the 1960s, Harvard researcher Robert Rosenthal, he went to an elementary school, and he tested all of the students that were at this elementary school. And when they moved into the next grade, he randomly selected 20% of the students. And then he went and told the teachers that these students were intellectual bloomers, that they were amazingly brilliant students. And he came back at the end of the year and then retested everybody again. So come to find out that those students that he told the teachers were brilliant, amazing students, they were bloomers, they actually did significantly better than all the other students. And why is that? Because the teachers thought that that's who they were, and then they treated them differently. They inquired with deeper questions. They saw that potential within those students. They engaged them even more. And then the students performed better. What if we treated people like that? What if we saw the potentiality in people? I know I have a friend who was an alcoholic. And the friend who was an alcoholic kept hearing from the community, I'm so grateful on how amazing you are. I see you. I know that you are a person who overcomes this. I know that you are a place of transformation. I know that this challenging behavior or addiction or pattern is not who you truly are. And then they overcame that truth. They overcame that false belief that alcohol rules their life. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. But it also takes each and every one of us to be willing to let go of those belief systems or what we're even seeing in front of us. Because everything that we see in front of us is just an effect. It's just the result of all the past thinking and all the past behaviors that has led up to this moment. But then this moment is the moment of creation. So what are you going to choose to create? What kind of seeds are you going to plant? What kind of ideas are you going to imagine? That's the interesting part of this teaching, I think, is that we get to be a place of creation. This is where our dreams and our visions become manifest. And it's not just on a singular level. I know that there's like, what did they call it? Oh, I don't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like there's the self-expression time where people learned how to become fully expressed. So in the 70s and 80s and 90s, there was that movement. Everybody did, what was it? EST, there you go, EST. Somebody knew it. They did EST. Transformation, personal transformation, right? It's like, I can personally transform. So that's, I mean, this Centers for Spiritual Living is part of the New Thought teaching, and that was kind of like the evolution. It's like, yes, we are here. We have power and control over our lives, and we can make a difference in the world. But it's very individual. And this teaching has evolved past that, because there's a tuning into what the infinite universe is, and the universe is a place of evolution. And once I get to be self-empowered, there's the next level, which is, what can I create? And not just what can I create for me, like, yeah, I get parking places all the time. I am a parking karma angel in this universe. Asked my grandma, who passed away, and then told everybody, she told people before she passed away that I'm the reason why she always got good parking karma. So, you never know. But it's not about that. It's about something deeper. It's about what is the evolution of humanity. And so some of you may come in here and you might want, like, oh, I want a great life. You're going to get a good life. If you practice, if you do these teachings, you're going to have a great life. You may have challenges, but you're still going to be able to overcome those challenges. But then what's deeper than that? To me, it's about community. It's about what can we collectively create together. And that comes with our dreams and our imaginings and our ideas of what's possible for the future. Our ideas of what's possible for the future. And it takes a collection of people dreaming up those things of what's possible for the future. And maybe you're not the person to physically be in action, but you may be the person who's the dreamer, who's the imaginer, who's the intender. And when there's a collective energetic of intentions and dreams and imaginings, there's people who catch that vision. They feel called to step into that vision. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're called to step into that vision of what that looks like, of what that is, of what a new version of humanity could be like. Because if what you're seeing right now isn't it, guess what? Who gets to change it? Yeah. We do. We get to be that place. We get to be the dreamers. We get to be the creators. We get to be the empowered visionaries of the future. And we do that through love, because love is the most powerful force in the universe. And it doesn't mean that I'm like a doormat or something like that. Love is not a doormat. Love is fiercely powerful. I mean, think about Gandhi. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. Think about all of these people who've made powerful choices to speak a dream, a vision, an idea of possibility, and the way they were able to make it happen. Did you know that there's this, I don't remember the name of the study, but there's a study about non-violent movements globally. There's a woman who studied it. I forgot her name. But what she found out is if 3% of the population, 3.5% of the population is in alignment with a vision and moves forward and takes a stand for that vision, then that vision comes to manifest. 3.5% of the population. So if you are engaged in creating a world that works for everyone, which is what Centers for Spiritual Living vision is for all of this global humanity, then you are a part of that 3.5%. You are part of creation, and it is incumbent on all of us to see it, to speak about it, and not just that, but to act as if it's happening. to be the creators of it. Because when I take a stand for that truth, everything else falls away. One thing that I love about Buddha is that he was great with boundaries. I'm sure, I don't know if you've heard this before, but Buddha was really good with boundaries. There's a story about him, and there's a man who came screaming insults at him. And the Buddha said to him, "What happens when I decline a gift?" And the man said, "Well, the gift stays with the person who's giving it." And he says, "Yes, I am declining your gift of insults." And it stays with you. So sometimes love looks like putting up a boundary. It's saying, that's yours, but this is mine. So can you be a place where love shows up for yourself, for this world, for each other? Can you be a place where you're willing to not make assumptions? Our brain is wired for the worst case scenario. And so it's really easy for us to go into the worst case scenario. It's also wired for the fact that if we don't have information from point A to point B, we make up a story in between. And so it's easy, because our brain is trying to protect us, to make up worst case scenario stories, because the brain wants you to be safe. And so it's going to make up those stories. And so if you notice your brain doing this, you can retrain your brain. You could say, oh, if I'm going to make up a story, I might as well make up a good one. If I'm going to decide that this person cuts me off in traffic, oh, I bless them. I'm so grateful that they're going to go see their pregnant wife who's having a baby right now. You know, why not make up a story that serves your own health and well-being and the health and well-being of each other? Because when somebody cuts me off in traffic and I get pissed off, guess who gets harmed? And love is bigger than that. So I want you to imagine something, an elevator moment. So close your eyes and imagine you're in an elevator with somebody who might activate you. Here you are, closed space elevator. Maybe it's that family member, maybe it's a micromanaging boss, maybe it's a neighbor who doesn't even talk to you. You only have 30 seconds in this small place. So first, I encourage you to choose curiosity. So here you are in the elevator. And instead of thinking immediately about their faults, which you might have already gone to, why don't you ask yourself, what am I not seeing about this person? What pain might they be carrying that I don't know about? What else is possible? What do I not know? Next, choose your creative power. Rather than seeing them as fixed and unchangeable, imagine their highest potential. What would they look like if they felt truly loved and secure? And finally, choose a courageous action. What would love look like in this moment? Maybe it's acknowledgement. Maybe it's a kind boundary. Or maybe it's simply being a place where peace and love resonate without even saying anything. Now open your eyes and notice how you feel. Is there a shift in you around this person? So that's what we call the 3 C's. 3 C's. Number 1, be curious. Before judging, invite yourself to ask questions. What am I not seeing? What else is possible? What story can I make up that's even better? Number 2, create consciously. Any challenging situation, if you could create an ideal outcome, what would it be? And imagine that. And number 3, choose to be courageous. What does love require of me in this moment? And be guided by that. Be guided by those actions, and know sometimes those actions might be speaking up. Like Martin Luther King. Like Gandhi. Those actions might be like Buddha, to say, that is your gift, and it is yours alone. I stand here in the place of love, and I will not be swayed. So this is what I know about my years of ministry. The world is not waiting for perfect people. The world is waiting for people to take a stand for love. The world is waiting for you to become your most outrageously magnificent and loving self. So will you today commit to that with me? Yes. All right. Am I supposed to pray here? I love praying. Yes. I'm going to pray now. So in that commitment, in that yes, I know that a ripple of love has reflected out into the universe, because love is the most powerful creator. The creatrix of the universe is love. And I recognize and know that something in each and every one of us has shifted as a result of this commitment. That each and every one of us is guided and directed and sustained by this knowingness that love makes the way clear, that love clarifies my divine right actions. And that love allows me to step into a place of the possibility of seeing and knowing and acting as if the world in it works for everybody. And so I'm guided and sustained by my actions because I am directed by this force for good in the world. I know that love is the way, and the way knows the way. And so I surrender into that way, allowing it to take me to my next greatest, most courageous step. I'm grateful to know this for myself and to know this for each and every person here. I am grateful to participate in the co-creation of it, knowing that it feels pretty freaking good. For that, I'm grateful, and so it is. Thank you.